Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today's video is not a great one. If you've read the title, you'll know a little bit of why. So basically, today's video was meant to be my riding New Year's resolutions and plans for 2023, but something happened the other day that drastically changed those plans, didn't they, Snip? So basically, by the way, she's trying to topple me off because I'm currently sat on a bag of haylage and she's discovered a hole in it. She was stood eating the hay net nicely for about 20 minutes while I set up and then discovered the hole as I sat down. So that's why she's like around me. Where are you going now? What are you doing? So as I said, this was meant to be our New Year's resolutions. I was going to tell you all the crazy eventing plans we had, all the big training days we had coming up, and what we hoped to achieve by the end of 2023, which was to do a BE90. That is not looking likely due to the fact that the other week, literally it was Christmas Eve and I'd ridden Snip and something just didn't feel right. She wasn't lame, she wasn't anything like that, just compared to me and Mum like talking and compared to the horse that when the day I went to try her, she wasn't acting the same. So I decided to book her in as soon as possible for a bit of a checkup at the vets. So I took her to our local equine clinic on the 28th, so straight after Christmas at 8 AM, as soon as they could get me in, for a full workup on her. And basically they did everything. They sort of had a look at her on the lunge and said, yeah, we see where you're coming from, she's not bending right. And we spent the last sort of 2 months trying to build up her hind end, as I mentioned in her video. So I've actually had her for 2 months now, just over. And I've spent those 2 months trying to build up that hind end because it was visibly, and you could feel it was weaker than any other part of her, and it had been from the day she arrived. So I thought, oh, we'll just build up the muscle. Like, I've not jumped her much, we've not jumped high at all, just to see, you know, to build her up and then start asking more of her. And like my trainer said, like, her canter had been really weak, her walk and trot had progressed amazingly, but her canter had been really weak. So anyway, I went to the vets, they kind of had a look at her on the lunge, agreed that something wasn't right in the canter, and the way that she like bent wasn't right. So started doing nerve blocking basically, started on the stifle, that made no difference, started on the hock, and that did make a difference. So they did her right leg initially, and the hock did make a bit of a difference, and then they blocked her suspensory on her right, and that made a huge difference. And then they blocked the suspensory on the left, and that made a huge difference. So basically, she had x-rays, she had scans, she's had the full works, everything checked, and they told me that she's going to need both hind suspensories operating on. They're not damaged as such, they're just not how they should be, so it's like wear and tear. But if we don't fix it now, she could get a lot worse, and she could then become in pain. So they don't think she's in pain, they think she's just struggling. So they couldn't tell me how long it had been going on or what had caused it. She does also have some bone growth on her right hock that they want to inject after she's had the surgeries, and they're going to inject her sacroiliac, which is the sort of top of her pelvis, because they think that's kind of a secondary to these issues. She's overcompensated basically by not wanting to use those hind suspensory ligaments. So I'm sorry, that's a lot of like, if you don't know horses or you haven't dealt with anything similar, that's a lot of words just thrown at you. Basically, both her hind legs need operating on. It is quite a big surgery. It's one that's done very often, and I actually know some really like top eventers who have had suspensories done and gone on to compete back at their normal level. So touch wood, we are hopeful that with the surgery she will make a full recovery and be better than ever. However, the recovery period from having the surgery, so just having it in mid-January, to her then being back in full work, we're looking a minimum of 6 months quite easily, if not a lot more. So it's kind of wiped out my plans for the next year. And obviously I am absolutely gutted, because I bought her 2 months ago to bring on this winter. I've fallen absolutely in love with her, like I love this mare to pieces, and then to be told, right, you're going to have to start from scratch with her, stop, is absolutely heartbreaking. It's taken me a few days to make this video, because I just hadn't accepted it at all. But yeah. A lot of people said to me, why don't you send her back to the seller, why don't you get your money back? That's not how I work. She is part of the herd now, she's part of the family, and I will do absolutely everything I can to fix her and to make her comfortable and happy. And that's it. She's gonna have the surgeries. I'm gonna ask you guys to send a lot of healing vibes our way, and we're gonna hope for the best, because don't you, babe? Yeah, it's a good girl. Oh God. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do that. So anyway, I can ride her under saddle, walk and trot normally, I've been told. I'm just going to walk her until she goes in for surgery, because they basically just want her to be as strong as possible before she goes in. So then she's got the best start when we look at her rehab and everything. And I guess from kind of a selfish point of view, I'm really like gutted to not be able to compete in an event, because obviously that's what I bought her for. But like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I want. It's about her being comfortable and getting everything she needs. She is thankfully insured. I insure my horses from the day they arrive, as you guys know. Had she not been insured, you know, this is going to cost absolutely thousands. So, you know, I'd have made it happen. I'd have done anything for my horses, but thankfully she's insured. We think the operations and everything will go over the insurance, and I'll have to pay for the aftercare, but that's fine. But she can go in and get the op as soon as she needs it. And yeah, so that's what's happened. I feel like I've really rambled and probably not giving you a clear description of actually what's happened, so my apologies, but I'm a little bit of a mess at the minute. Smokey is coming back into work. I've actually ridden him today for the first time in about a month, so I will be riding him while Snip is out of work, and the plan is to try and get him to a point where he's actually able to do a little bit more. He was very wild today, so we will see how that goes. And yeah, Snippers will go for a few little walk hacks out over the next couple of weeks, and then go in for the operation, and then she will have strict box rest for quite a while, and then it'll be in hand rehab, and slowly build her up back to ridden later in the year, provided everything goes well. But as always with my channel, I show you the good, the bad and the ugly. But yeah, I'll do everything I can for her, and I know you guys will support me throughout. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all hopefully for a bit of a more optimistic video in the new year. Bye guys.